Okay. So today we will discuss about the padding and the new layout morph strategy. So maybe Juan, you want to share an image or I have an image as well I can share, but maybe it's better if it's you. What do you think? Maybe unmuting
I
the.
was muted, yes. Yes, sure. I will do that right now.
Okay.
Okay. I will start a fresh image and share the window. Well, oh, yes, it can do it. Yes. In Chrome, it can share a window. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, um, this came after quite a bit of discussion and ideas from the community. The idea was to be able to separate in layout morphs the space between morphs and the space around the set of morphs that would be the external free margin in the layout. After several suggestions, it was Bernard who suggested we use um, the way that CSS names this kind of stuff. So that meant using the name padding for the inner margin of morphs, and it was suggested that any morph having a border should also be able to have a padding, as CSS calls it. So yeah, of course, now that I am live, I cannot find. Yeah, I believe it was this. Um, this is some of the examples that Ken prepared to play with this. The idea in the end that we finished doing is a new hierarchy. We used to have, we still have boxed morph. A boxed morph has these variables, okay, extent and border, and when Bernard suggested that any morph having a border should also be able to have a padding, well, and we reviewed a little bit what existing subclasses of box morph, for which of them having a padding would make sense or not. And in the end, for most of the classes, they could make good use of both a border and a padding or none of them. Okay, so the new hierarchy is box morph that only has extent, it doesn't have a border, and another subclass that adds color, border, and padding. Okay, so for all classes, all subclasses of boxed morph, we should eventually move them to the new hierarchy, choosing one of the new two classes. Each of these should be either a box morph or a bordered box morph. And these are the classes. We don't need to go into full detail right now, but the interesting part are the classes that were already migrated. The classes that were already migrated were some of the classes that could make a good use of a padding, and they are these. Okay, the most important one is LayoutMoprh, is the one that started all this, but we also Ken also implemented proper behavior for padding, also for image morph, label morph, and text paragraph morph. So this first commit I did today includes all of this. So let's play a little bit with Ken's example. Um, I will add another morph here. Okay, and of course it doesn't work. It should, but it, sorry, it's a sample of 1 star new, not the class, an instance. Of course, okay, there it is. So this is a layout column as they behave now with this update. Um, this one right now has 0 padding. Uh, all 3 morphs have 0 padding. Okay, and the layout can also have what used to be called separation that now is called gap. Just for compatibility, if you tell separation column to morph, it will set padding and gap. But padding is internal between morph and gap is internal between morph and padding is external to all of them. So let's play a little bit with this and see how it behaves. If we tell our layout we want some padding, it does this. This is the 8 size padding. It can be made a bit bigger. Okay, and if we can also tell border width, of course, to any of these. Okay, so this is a wider border. We can make it small again. And look at that as the padding, for instance, becomes smaller again, the whole morph becomes smaller. And this is because this morph was already at its minimum extent. As a tweak I did yesterday and published today is that if you enlarge this and then do this, for instance, the extent, the outer extent will not change. And if you make it smaller, it won't change because it has enough room to grow or shrink. But if it was using the minimum extent and you make it smaller, oh, this, why didn't you, let me see again. Yeah, there it grows, and if I make it smaller again, it should shrink if things go well. There it is, okay? So if it's at its minimum extent, it will try to honor the new minimum extent after the changes in geometry, okay? And the same happens with the inner morph. Here we can tell the image morph that we want some inner padding, some larger inner padding. So it goes like that. And if we make it small again, the whole thing becomes smaller. Okay, so it propagates outside and inside. So if you are at minimum extent, it will always be at minimum extent. Okay, so this is essentially it. If we tell separation to the layout morph, it acts both as padding and as gap. And that's it. We also have this other example that opens 2 columns with some padding and with no padding, and the same with 2 rows with some padding and no padding at all. This also shows that image and label honor this, and the same happened with the other class that was text paragraph morph. That is for static text. So I guess this is it. It's essentially Ken's code on top of Bernard's suggestion for the hierarchy with a little tweaks and refactoring to make it nicer or to factor out common code and to tweak the extent to honor the minimum extent. So as a mini presentation, that's all.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The padding can be a point because I play a bit and it seemed to accept
Yes.
point.
Yes. This should work. Yes. See?
So
Or we can. Okay. Yeah. Padding can be a point. Gap not because it's unidirectional. I'm not sure if you can set it as a point, but it doesn't make much sense. Number or point. I'm not sure what gap as a point will do. Oh, no. Sorry. Gap is only for layout, of course. This makes no sense. Yeah, it will not use. Perhaps it should not be a point. Gap should only be a number. Most likely, I will change this unless someone understands what would be the point of having a point as a gap. I don't know. So, any of you feels that this forgot some important feature or detail that you are aware of, or you think this is reasonably okay?
I think it's great. I really
Yeah, it's
like
nice.
Cool.
I am. Can you make some tests? Because I did something earlier, and I'm not sure about the result. Can you open an inspector on
Yeah,
the layout
just right.
morph? Not
Yeah.
this one. Not this one. The one with the below with padding. Not the other one. The horizontal one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's open an inspector on this.
And so typing. Because I have some. I wrote some notes. So call the padding method with the. So with the method, it's better with the method, I think. Below.
Sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
You should type in self padding.
Is that the phone or something?
I didn't hear.
And try 10 on 10. 10 to 10.
Like this?
10, yeah. Okay. So next you type in the Y you set to 0. Okay, this is good. I have a different behavior.
Well, maybe you don't have the latest changes. I've been pushing stuff until about an hour ago or
Okay,
something.
so this is what I took your change set from yesterday, was it?
Yes, that
Okay.
didn't include the auto adjustment of the minimum extent.
All right, that's okay.
I did that afterwards.
So that's the behavior I observe indeed. So it's fine.
Yes,
Great.
yes. When I fixed that, I decided that instead of emailing stuff to the list, just to push everything, so it's easier for everyone to pull and play with this. So you may want to do that right now if you want, or just after the meeting.
So no, this is nice. I have another question. Can you go on the hierarchy browser?
Yes. This one?
Yeah. So you have the box morph.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I was reading your comments below.
Okay.
The class comments. and you say not if you need a box like morph that can hold submorphs that can protrude, don't subclass from here. I'm not sure what do
Yes.
you mean there.
Well, this is a message.
Yeah.
Submorphs might protrude, and the implementers are this one. So for a morph, submorphs may protrude answers true, and for this, it answers false. Okay. So this means this is a kind of optimization. If a morph can guarantee that it will not have submorphs that try to occupy an area outside of itself, it doesn't need to clean that area when drawing. Okay, and that's true for Windows and for most regular widgets. Okay, so if you have, for instance, a very general morph like um, like the star. Okay, if you have the star and you clone it and you embed one star inside the other, then this is a top morph, this is a submorph, and it extends outside of the area occupied by this one, and everything works okay. Okay, but if you try to do this with this, and this one is a boxed morph that says submorphs might protrude node, it doesn't have the code to be careful about that, and then things will break. Okay.
Okay.
And you get that kind of artifacts. That
Okay.
artifacts are because these morphs are not being careful on what happens outside them.
Okay.
See, all the artifacts. It only draws correctly inside the box, and that is perhaps the main feature of box morph and boxed morph. They are meant to be superclasses of widgets and rectangular areas where you may have on a complex UI, you may have hundreds of them, and they need to be fast. Okay, if every morph could be completely general, then they would be more expensive to draw, and everything would be slower. So if you want a general morph, don't subclass from here.
And if you set to true the method clips submorph, does it work? Yeah, it's one. If you subclass from box morph, then you set
If you
true.
said, well, that's a good question. We can try and see, but
I'm asking you this. I will give you the context because for
like
the
this. Wait a second.
okay.
Let's try. No, it still doesn't work. Okay,
Okay.
so we would need to review a little bit the other assumptions done by this. Maybe if I also negate this, it works. I'm not sure. No, it still doesn't work. There would be need to tweak other things, but the idea is that if you really need that, you just create another class, another class of another subclass of placeit morph.
Okay.
Okay. So for instance, you could copy. This is perhaps a possible way to do it. Box morph as I don't know, clipping submorphs box morph, something like that, and then you work on this class until it works the way you want, and it's your own box morph. Perhaps it makes more sense to actually start with an empty subclass, add the extend instance variable again, and copy stuff from box morph as needed.
Okay.
You said something about a bit more of context on your need for this.
Yeah, for the onboarding tool on the Dynamic, So I have document with pages, and in the pages you have two submorph. You have a background morph. When there is you can have for example a PDF document, or you can have a horizontal line for writing, or you can have a grid or whatever. Then you have a paper morph, and the user is writing on the paper morph, and of course
Okay.
sometimes he will write outside of the paper morph. So of course you want to clip the strokes that are outside.
Okay. Do we have any morph that clips submorphs?
Because you can only have one clipping you can have only one clipping morph in a hierarchy, right? In a tree of morph.
Yes, right now that's a limitation of the current implementation. Yes.
Because I have an issue. Um, I clip the paper morph, or I clip the page morph, and because the
And
page
why do you need to clip the page morph? Do you
because
need to do that
the
step?
page morph is in the document, and the document is in system windows. So
Okay.
I have conflicting between who should be clipped, but both need to be clipped. Um, Maybe I can show you a later another time. We can make so
Yeah.
you understand. But I need to explore again. I need to explore more the topics. I need.
Yeah, the thing is that the first implementation of clipping uses one of the global structures that has entries for all the pixels in the display and use a temporal clipping mask that is only set up during the drawing of one morph, and then each morph draws recursively inside. Okay, and if I allowed nested clipping morph, then the submorph that clips would use that mask for itself and its submorph, and what it returns and other sibling morphs are to be drawn, the owner clipping mask would be lost. Okay, that's the first implementation I did. After that, way later than that, I made this bit mask, I believe is the name of the method.
Yeah.
And yeah, and any morph can have a bit mask, okay? And the clipping algorithm can be rewritten to use this bit mask, okay? But in order to do that, I need to get the logic of the bit mask inside the vector graphics plugin, because all that is done by primitive code.
Okay.
And that is something that takes a little bit of time to do. Working on the plugin is a bit more complicated than doing just Smalltalk. And then we need to get that update integrated into a new build of the VM. And only after that, it will be available for everyone to use. So it's something that is not as immediate as working on pure Smalltalk. So that's our current status. If you need clipping only to a box morph that is rectangular clipping, then maybe we can do it in the way that uh, clipping used to work, still works in Squeak. That is not as general and it's not to arbitrary shapes like in Quiz. So perhaps we can do something reasonably easy that works for your case. Otherwise, you will need to wait until I get time to do a new release of the vector graphics API.
Yeah, it's okay. I need to explore the topic. So
Yeah,
there is no urgent matter.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Ken, you have your hand raised.
Quite so.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
My virtual hand and my real. No, no, no. That's fine. That's you're the important user. I'm just a guy that noodling around and and that sort of thing. I just want to mention a use case for having a gap that is a point, which is that my wife recently got an iPhone, and you turn it sideways, it goes between horizontal and vertical mode. And so if someone is doing an app that runs on one of these smartphones and it turns sideways, the layout for the window, having a gap that is different on when things are laid out horizontally versus vertically could be a very useful thing. I'm just saying we don't have that use case yet, but that's a use case that we could.
But that would mean a layout that converts itself from column to row and from row to column.
Mm,
Right, right. But the thing
Oh,
is,
that's much bigger than
if you change the screen, okay, from horizontal to vertical, the screen size is going to change.
the screen size is going to change.
Right. So
But
at that point, you could determine that something has happened and take an action to
yeah,
convert
but
a layout.
you in the
Let's we could just
let
let's
me ask
wait
a
till we get
question,
there.
please.
But I'm just
Let
saying
let
I,
me
I
ask you
I
a
wouldn't
question.
block that use case.
Let me ask you a question. I want to better understand what you say. In the use case, you imagine when you rotate the phone, uh, you want the UI to counter rotate to keep the same um, orientation as usual, like a GPS map that when you rotate, the map keeps pointing north, so it counter rotates the phone. You want that? Or
Well,
you want the UI to rotate as well?
I want to know that the rotation has happened so that uh,
That is okay, but
le-
you want all the text now to point upwards, or you want the text to keep the same direction as before?
I think it would be good for the text to be the same direction as before,
So
that
whatever
with
was
your
a
eyes are
row,
reading.
is still a row.
That is correct, yes. So I
Therefore,
take it back.
if your gap was okay, so
You're,
what you need is something a bit different than what you just said.
that just shows how much cleverer you are than I am.
And
You instantly get it. I work it through, and sometimes it's a day later, and I say, "Oh, wait a minute. What about?"
yeah, well,
Great, great.
in any case, it would be fun to be able to detect. I mean, we are already detecting when the display sign changes. So it shouldn't be too hard to use this heuristic. If what was height is now width and what was width is now height, it means that the screen was rotated. And so let's act as if we were sure that the screen was rotated. And what would you do with the UI in that case? It's something that will be fun to experiment with. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that can come up for there. I was just trying to be a little half clever about that, and I just wasn't as clever as I thought I was. So, oh
Yeah,
well.
totally okay. This is to play an experiment. With respect to this general pattern, perhaps what works well is to have a concrete use case. Here, Hilaire has been using Quiz for Dr. Geo for several years already, and a lot of very subtle but important tweaks in user interface came from the needs of an actual application that Dr. Geo. So when you are working with a real application, it's much easier to see what the user will want or what would feel natural. So whenever Hilaire asks for some feature, I uh, give my best effort at trying to understand and do something that works because it directly impacts one. real application, and most likely it will many other real applications would have similar issues or preferences. So yeah, that's the best for me with this kind of UI things, details, tricks. Try to build a toy UI for a user and play with it and how that should behave. Yeah, and of course we all always try quiz to be flexible. That's the point of not adding extra complexity. Make it easier to evolve in directions we didn't know about before, right?
That's the confrontation with real use cases. Yeah. It really helped to fine tune an application or uh, an environment like Quiz. Indeed, that's very important to have a real use case.
Yes, I try not to be too clever about what an application will want.
Mm. Yeah, you
Uh,
can't.
I, I,
You
I,
can't.
you can't,
No.
right? You can't. No.
I want to repeat
There's
that I really like the change. So I think having the gap and the padding be different is really helpful for a lot of layout use cases. I think I like it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I really like how the discussion around this issue went because there were several different points of view and opinions, and together we could find a solution that is most likely better than what any one of us would have done without talking to anyone, right? So yeah, it was a good social experiment to find a good solution. Yeah,
looks very nice one.
cool. Well, if there's nothing else to be said about this, the should I or should you, Bernard?
You have
Let me
music.
just.
Bernard, do you want to show everyone?
No, you can do it because
Okay,
you share the screen already and you have the.
okay. I will do it myself. I will show you the other news we have for today. Thanks to Bernard and Sabine, Bernard's wife. Yes, something like this should do it. No. Uh, so this is one of our current, get out of here, please, designs for the logo mascot, designed by Sabine. Thank you very much. And this would be the final version of one of the designs in SVG form, so we can easily use it in Quiz or anywhere else we want. And these are the four alternatives we have. We still need to decide if we want to use just one of them or all of them for different uses. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. So these two have this white border around that these two doesn't, I like it more without the white border. I think I'm not really sure, and this with the orange circle, and this one with just a blue background. So, well, there they are. They. If everybody likes them, they are official now, and we are ready to start using them in our website and other places. Perhaps instead of the old uh, mouse in ImageMorph. Well, it's an I don't know. I mean, this is cute, but it's so badly pixelated when you enlarge it a little bit that I think this will be much nicer if converted to a PNG file and used instead as a sample for the ImageMorph, for instance. Also as a sample for SVG and for the web page, the GitHub repo, the quizbook, everywhere. So that's the big news today. Thank you, Bernard, again. How do you like it?
Nice.
It's very nice.
Good.
I like the white outline with the blue on blue, but whatever. Anyway, I just wanted to mention very quickly to everybody that after the update, the UI stuff is going to need some TLC because of the lack of X separation, Y separation, and some of the extent stuff and so forth. So it's going to take a day or two to update that stuff after we get the official release.
Yeah. Sorry about that. You will
No
take
worries.
care. You will take care of the UI repo, right, Ken?
I will. I have to be somewhere today, so it's going to take me a couple of days actually to get
Okay.
to it. But I
I,
it's not a
I will
problem.
do a little bit of grep over the other repos and find if in another repo outside the UI repo there is a sender of those messages that are no longer there, and I will fix them. But UI, I will leave it to you.
Yeah. It'll take me a couple of days, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
wonderful. Looks wonderful. The whole
Yeah.
thing.
I
I
would
really
like
love
to
the
add,
new logo. I think it's great. I think it's going to be great everywhere.
Yeah.
thanks. So actually, to add, so when we last talked, Juan and I last talked, so the point was that the original decided logo had a gradient. So that's the version without the gradient. And then
Yes.
doing that, there were two variants which came out last. So I guess it would be probably good to decide on one of those two, or at least find some criteria when you use one of those two. And then today, when I did the SVG, I saw that if you the top two logos, if you put them on the wrong background, so on the gray background or on the blue background, then it's very difficult to discern it from the background, and that's why we have these two variants with the outlines. So
Yeah. For instance, here,
exactly, that's yeah,
or of course
especially when it's smaller.
here. Yes. Yes, that is true. Um,
But of course, if you have a if you have it on a light background, then it doesn't matter.
yeah. Yeah. Like this. This is the purpose of the. Yes, I agree that for small things on dark backgrounds, this is much better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just say so.
So what do you think, folks? Should we pick one of these four, and which one would it be? It's true that the white border helps,
you can just resize the LayoutMoprh now to see it in small sizes.
Like this, you say?
Yes, this is.
Yes, of course. Around that size, at least here looking at the display directly, I'm not sure how you see it. Around this size, you can start to see the face of the quiz. And yes, it is easier to see with the white border. So perhaps the one we should pick is this one, number 4. I like the blue. I like the yellow accent, but if it is to be used in very big size, perhaps it's a bit too much. I don't know. It's okay too. I'm not sure I have a preference. I like all of them.
Yeah, it's always difficult on me too. So that's why we put it in front of
How
you.
will
So
this look when it is grayscale? That's an excellent question. Let me see. Okay, this is like a live demo, so most likely it will fail somehow. But let's see. If I tell this morph self image form, and it wants depth. So if I do it like this, I get this. It usually works. And if I say, well, something like this, perhaps. Yes, there it is. Yeah.
okay, interesting that it's black. Okay.
Yes. Well, no, this part is not black. It's actually transparent.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh, no, it's black. Why is it black? It should be transparent. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's this. Pixel. It is colored, not pixel color. Yeah. No, it's black. I'm sorry. It's not transparent. Well, yeah, I don't know why. If we do the same with this one,
Interesting.
so at this size they look reasonably well. I don't know. What do you think? I think that all 4 of them are as easy to distinguish in gray as in color. So
Yes.
using gray
does not make much difference.
No, not a big problem. Yeah. Yes,
I
exactly.
guess the main question boils down to if you like the yellow accent, if you prefer that, or just the last one is definitely a bit more cleaner. Is a bit cleaner, and the other is a bit more interesting because it has the yellow sun yellow accent. So, but someone needs to decide. So.
Yes, more fancy with the yellow.
Exactly, a little bit more fancy. That's true. Also, I think that maybe on smaller sizes, the last one is a bit better. But
yes, because there is less stuff to look at.
Yeah.
Yes, it's cleaner.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Trade-offs, as always. Yeah.
I think we can say that I don't see why shouldn't the user decide which one to use. I mean, if
that's true as well.
they are both our official logos. I don't know.
I have one suggestion. Perhaps we should use the yellow color tone from our title bar windows as because it will look nicer, less color.
For what, Gerald?
For this yellow color in the logo should be the same as the color in our title bar windows, or in where you have different colors in the title bars. It doesn't make sense. It will make sense for a uniform color theme in Quiz, which I use forever. But my suggestion doesn't make any sense. I just was looking at the transcript window, which is nearly the same yellow as this yellow accent in the logo.
Yeah.
And my suggestion was to use the same yellow here, but it doesn't make much sense because we have so many different title bar colors in Quiz. You can't just choose one to match it.
Yeah, so the yellow color is actually fit to the blue of the logo, so I wouldn't change that.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, but if we like this yellow color, we can make the transcript this color. Why not?
That's also a possibility, exactly.
That's even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I can do that later. I will need to get some color tool. I'm pretty sure my Mac has some color tool over there. Let me see if I can find it quickly enough.
For the quiz book, for
You want
example, I just we have a logo, and if I want to replace with one of this one, I think the second one will be the best one.
yes, for a printed
Okay.
version, it's certainly the best.
I don't really think we need to make a rigid decision.
Right.
Yeah, because depending on what you want to do,
Yeah,
Yes.
you will pick up one or another one.
yeah.
I have a wacky idea, which is that if I think about the Cuis book, I would think about sort of the title page having the larger yellow one, the number 3 on the list, and then throughout the book, smaller number 4.
Yeah,
So depending on your use case, larger or smaller, it might make a difference. I'm happy with either of 3 or 4 myself. I think I would prefer one or both of those.
yeah.
That's just my aesthetic.
Actually, I have a question. Is it currently possible? Do we have code to somehow generate PNGs ourselves from the SVG?
Yes, it's trivial to do that.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, actually, what I just did in the transcript almost works. It will not be the cleaner way, but you just say image form. You needed to set to a morph the proper size, and then just write PNG. Don't we have
Yeah,
write PNG file?
Maybe you need to
maybe
load another.
it's not installed.
Oh, I need to install the package for optional. Yeah, but it's there, so
You can
Okay.
export
it
to
shouldn't.
BMP, I think.
Yes, yes. So that should be okay. Um, I'm fixing the transcript color. There it is. No, why not? It should be matched. Maybe I need to, most likely I need to open it again. Yes. Yeah, there it is. This is the yellow color.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm afraid I'll need to leave soon. So, yeah.
Good time.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much, Bernard.
Yeah,
Thank you,
bye.
Yeah.
Have a
Gerald.
great time. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. If there's nothing else to discuss, I guess we can call it a day.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Yep.
a day.
Okay.
Nice.
That was nice. Okay. Thank you.